Hello. Okay, it works. Hi, everybody's awake. All right, good morning, everybody. I think we're just going to start. I think we need to start the timer. All right, I'll start. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Agora. Welcome to Cannes. The Agora is our first inaugural summit that Kaiko is organizing. We're delighted to gather together our industry partners, clients, friends, and everybody working at the intersection of capital markets and blockchain. So thank you for being here. The reason we're here is that digital assets are entering a new phase, one where we have moved from the original experimental crypto use cases towards now production-ready initiatives. We're seeing major exchanges, banks and asset managers actively tokenizing securities, deploying stablecoin as collateral, and rolling out derivatives and capital markets applications on-chain. I think our first panel, after this quick introduction, is about perpetual futures. I think perps is an extremely good example of leveraging crypto-native innovation with traditional financial asset classes. And this is something that will be discussed extensively in the first conversation, so I won't steal the show. But this is a very good example of innovation at the intersection of crypto and traditional finance. But as we are seeing the market mature, the quality of data and data infrastructure that powers those markets becomes as important as the innovation themselves. So we're now at a point where it's not about proving that the technology works, but it's about building the common frameworks and standards and infrastructures that will let the world of capital markets and blockchain operate as one. Specifically about Kaiko, we've been around for 11 years, and for all this time we've been bringing data, transparency, and reliability to digital assets markets. For over a decade, we've built data solutions, initially catering for crypto asset market data, then getting into the world of analytics, derivatives data, indices, and more recently, data infrastructure to be able to enable capital markets moving on-chain from a data standpoint. So this is not a future scenario. This is happening now, and it creates all sorts of new challenges. Everybody talks about on-chain finance, continuous finance, and on-chain global markets. This will require continuous, reliable data infrastructure to support 24/7 operations, 24/7 risk management, and price discovery and collateral management. So all the securities that are natively issued on-chain will not have initially their own price formation and market on-chain, and this needs to be brought from the outside world. Collateral that moves around the clock will require around-the-clock market data. And institutions will need auditable, regulated data rails that they can rely on. So healthy markets depends on trusted data, trusted infrastructure. That has always been true. And now we're reaching a point where we're addressing those challenges in the context of blockchain and the institutionalization of capital markets on-chain. So the Agora, the name and the vision. Historically, the Agora was the place in ancient Greece where markets, ideas, and governance came together. It was not just a marketplace, it was where economic, political, and social ideas intersected. So this is what we're trying to achieve today. We're delighted to have everybody here for this event, and all of the conversations are here to progress the world of traditional finance, tokenization, and capital markets moving on-chain. So thank you very much for being here. We will progress into the content and the first panel very shortly, and then there's going to be a lunch break on the rooftop and an evening cocktail on the rooftop as well. There's plenty of networking space here during the day, so I really encourage you to mingle with people here as much as possible. Thank you very much.